Hi, I'm Kelsey Jones. I'm the executive editor at Search Engine Journal, and I also am the CEO and founder of Moxie at moxiedot.com, and that is what I mainly use virtual assistants for. We also have quite a few Filipino employees at Search Engine Journal as well, who we work with in a virtual capacity because all of Search Engine Journal is virtual. So Catherine sent me over some questions and I'm going to answer them for you guys. Hopefully it's useful. So first, Catherine asked, how long have you been working with a VA? So I've been at Search Engine Journal for 2 years, and so I've been working with them there for the whole time. And then with MoxieDot, I've had virtual assistants, I want to say for 3 years now. So it's been extremely helpful, a lifesaver, a great way to help me grow my business, especially since MoxieDot is just me and some virtual assistants, and then sometimes my brother whenever he can help. So as a business owner, what prompted me to hire a VA is I wanted the flexibility, so I didn't want to have to hire someone for a set amount of hours because my business was growing and I wasn't sure how many hours or how much help I would need. And then also I liked the idea of a VA because I do everything through email and Skype and online anyway. It was just a lot more natural to fit into my everyday workload. And I also liked the cost. I mean, it's a lot cheaper tax-wise to hire someone outside of the US, because if I hired someone within the US, I would have to pay taxes on them, even if they were an independent contractor. And so when you hire someone that's outside of the US, you don't have to do that. So that was a big motivator for me as well, to look for hiring someone outside the US. And my virtual assistant, Pinky, with MoxieDot, she lives in the Philippines, and she's been doing a great job so far. She's been with me for, I want to say 8 or 9 months now. So rundown of tasks that she does, blog posts, social media content. She'll do research for me, both from a personal level. So me and my husband just went to Portland, Oregon for vacation, and she helped me research hotels and breweries and restaurants and stuff to do. But from a business perspective, other things she does besides writing, blog posts and social media, she'll do research. If we have tasks that we need to do for SEO audits, like add certain URLs or search for things or create sitemaps, she helps me with that. So anything that is a big project or maybe is pretty time consuming that I don't have time to do, she'll help me with. She also helps me add additional writing samples to moxiedot.com as well. And so that's been really helpful. We've also done a couple quote posts that do pretty well, especially on Pinterest. So quotes from Oprah, Aristotle, Plato, people like that that are inspirational. She'll do those posts as well and create images for them. And then we share them on social media. So that's been cool to kind of see those come together. And they're just a fun post that normally I probably wouldn't have had the time to put together myself. Catherine asked, having worked with several freelancers, what are the top 3 most important traits you look for when hiring one? What would help applicants stand out during the selection process? So I would say timeliness and getting things in on time and by deadline is absolutely the most important thing. So I've worked with VAs in the past who I really loved and who did a good job, but they kept turning in work late. And I get that things happen. I know especially, in some other countries, the internet connection isn't as good as the one I have here because I have Google Fiber. I live in Kansas City, so I'm lucky enough to have that. So I get that happens, but, turning things in late repetitively is really bad for me from a client perspective when it comes to VAs, because that's work that I'm usually then turning around and giving to clients after I fold it into the work I've done. So anything that could affect the deadline of what I turn into clients is really something that I can't chance, because then that's my income and that's affecting, the VA's income as well, because if I'm not getting paid, I don't have work for them. So I would say that that'd be the number one most important thing. Number two, something that I personally look for since I do marketing and content is good writing and language skills for English. So all my clients, except for one, do English websites, content, social media, everything. And so it's really important to be a good writer. If that's something that you struggle with, I would say it definitely helps to have a blog of your own or have a profile on Medium and just kind of practice your writing and just write regularly. That's definitely something that makes you a better writer. Also checking out books like Everybody Writes by Anne Hanley could help a lot as well. The third trait, I would say, surprisingly, telling me when I'm doing something wrong or when I could do something better, because as a business owner, I kind of get flustered or I'm working too much on my own projects. And so I don't really have the bird's eye view of the project as a whole. So anytime, Aki or Paulo or Meg from Search Engine Journal or Pinky from the Moxie side tells me that, maybe I already did something or something that I'm telling them to do, they think it could be done more efficiently. I love that kind of feedback because I want to know anything that we could improve upon or do better. And so I know it's really hard to tell your boss, when you don't agree with what they want, but if you really think it could help their business, I think that that's an asset to them. And hopefully if you find the right employer or the right clients, they're going to tell you and appreciate tell you that they want to know when they're wrong, and they'll appreciate you speaking up. So that's another thing I look for is people that are proactive and looking for ways to improve how we do things and how we could improve our business. Because at the end of the day, I'm the business owner, and so I want us to grow and prosper. And so I like working with people that feel the same way. Catherine asks, what are the red flags that should be avoided by potential candidates? So from the client side, things that should be avoided. If they don't get back to you or they want to ask you, they ask you weird questions like about your family, or if you're willing to do things that are gray hat or black hat, which in terms of SEO is bad practices. If they ask you to do anything or ask you questions that seem off, I would definitely listen to your intuition. I would also avoid people that don't have, if you're doing online work or marketing work, I would avoid people that don't have a good website, because if that's what you're going to be doing for them and for their clients and they don't follow their own advice, I would look for that too, and that might be a red flag. I also would never want to, if I was a VA, I wouldn't want to work for a client that's really demanding or doesn't understand work-life balance. I mean, I know sometimes there's fires that, we all need help with, but if they're emailing you, on a Saturday and expecting an immediate response, then that might be something that could be a red flag as well, because it's just not feasible. And the best people you want to work with are ones that understand that you deserve and need time with your friends and family or just by yourself to relax. So I'd kind of see what their life is like too. If they value their own free time or their own fun activities, you could ask them what they like to do for fun. And that'd be kind of an easy way to figure out how they value work-life balance. Next question. As a follow-up, what situations will prompt you to cease your working relationship with your VA? I think that what has happened in the past, and the one thing that has caused me to choose a different VA is not turning work in on time. So, the first couple times it happens, we talk about it and I ask if it's on my end, if they need more time to do it, if they just don't like it, if there's a way that we could reframe it to make it easier. So once we kind of figure that out and things are still being turned in late and they have enough notice and time to get it done, then that's when it hasn't worked out and I've ended my relationships with them. So, some clients might not care about that, but to me, it's really important because the work that I'm having my VA do it with Moxie is things that I'm usually working on with clients if it's not a personal project with the Moxie site or whatever. So again, timeliness and getting stuff done when you say you will is definitely, for me, the most important thing, especially because we're not in the same office. All we have are our deadlines and our communication online. Catherine asks, can you tell us your experience working with your most trusted VA? How did they earn that title? What would make your VA invaluable? So I would say someone who is excited about the job and really helpful and looking for additional ways to help, so being proactive. So Aki, Meg, and Paulo are independent contractors of Search Engine Journal, but they're employees. Like, we're all a big family. We're all contractors, but some of us work full time. Like Aki and Paulo and I all work full time for Search Engine Journal. So I would say they're not really VAs, but I'm going to use them as an example. So we have a good relationship because, again, they're willing to ask me questions about things if I'm trying to get them to do things and they don't think it's right, or they think that somebody else has already done it. That makes me trust them because I know that they respect me enough to let me know that things could be done differently or done better. So that makes me trust them. Again, turning things in on time definitely builds up that trust. And just being positive and proactive really helps build a good relationship, because overall I'm a really positive person as well. And obviously I'm really passionate and proactive about what I do because I work full time for Search Engine Journal, and then I also work at Moxie as the CEO and founder. So I like people that love what they're doing and are proactive and happy to do the work, and that builds up the relationship for sure and makes them a trusted ally that I know I can trust them with my business. And then finally, any final tips for freelancers wanting to land a long-term partnership with a business owner in the digital marketing industry? I would say be educated about marketing. So maybe you could write a blog about marketing. You could have samples in a portfolio. Maybe you could host that online, or if you're doing it on Upwork, host it there. Excuse me. Whenever I've looked in the past, I've looked at people's testimonials. So if you have past clients, maybe you could build a little testimonials page or part on your profile or on your website, or maybe a PDF, of a Word document of testimonials that you could send. You can also collect testimonials on LinkedIn. I think that kind of helps increase the trust factor. When you're looking to land a partnership, I would make sure that you're as prompt as possible. So a couple months ago, I was looking for a new VA to bring on, and I ended up not finding anyone that would work out. And the reason was I started talking to people, and I offered a few test assignments to some, and they were paid test assignments. I mean, I'm not expecting anyone to do anything for free. And two of them said that they would do it and then just never got back to me and never answered it. So if they followed up again, I would just say I'm not interested, because they showed me right off the bat that they might not be reliable. So when you're looking to land that partnership, I would make sure that you are showing yourself as trustworthy and knowledgeable in the space, and you know what you're talking about. So I hope that's been helpful. If you guys have any other questions, I'm on Twitter at Wonderwall7. You can email me, kelsey@moxiedot.com. And I look forward to hopefully getting to know you guys better. See you later.